Hello folks, this is Tiny Games Lab, and I'm going to show you how I made my game The Empire for the Blackthornprod Game Jam and the GMC32 Jam. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit how the game works, and then we go to the how I made it. So it all started Saturday. I went online and I saw that GMC Jam 32 was starting. And had already started on Friday actually, and the theme was Conquest. When I was looking into it, I said, okay, I want to participate, I have a little bit of time. I also noticed that the Blackthornprod Jam had started, and the theme was mini planets. So I decided, why not join both? So I made a game that is about Conquest and mini planets. So the first idea I actually had was to make maybe a genetic algorithm game. So I would simulate a mini planet, and the idea was going to be to have the player have indirect control of this planet. So the player was not going to be able to control the characters itself, but it would be able to maybe switch around some genes and then look what happened, and it would be like a survival of the fittest. You would have to achieve the goal within some generations or something like that. I really like this idea, but I end up not using this, and I want to make a game out of it, or maybe a simulator out of it later in the future, but it was not the one that actually struck me as the best one for this game jam. So I had a second idea within Saturday, and the idea was, okay, what happens if I have a lot of planets on the space? Let's say I have a green planet, which is the player, I have a red planet, which is the enemy, and I have maybe troops moving around from one planet to the other. This way I have to conquest the entire galaxy. And these planets may be even linked to each other, so I cannot move whenever I want or whatever I want. I have to move within the connection of the planets. So this is the idea that I used, and I went forward with it, and I liked it. No? So I started by sketching up initial art for this. I did about 3 planets, so I did an Earth-like planet. I made a space rock also, which is like our moon, and I made a fertile planet. I decided that the Earth-like planet was not the fertile planet because we're kind of screwing up Earth right now, but I made these 3 variants of planets just to start with. And that was about Saturday. I did a little bit of coding, but that's it. On Sunday, I decided, okay, I have to make this game work now, so I have to make my AI work, I have to make all the game mechanics work and all that. So the first thing I did was to build a relationship table. So like you see here on the screen, I have these planets, and I have put a number on them, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I had to relate them to each other so I could know if a move was valid or not. Let's say, can you move a troop from planet 1 to 5? No. I have to move it to 2 or to 4. So I built this little table on Excel. And this is what I used within the game to know if a move was valid or not. So let's say from 1, I could go to 2 or to 4. So that would mean this little line here. Okay. And also, I had to work on the AI system. I kind of noticed that I took a little bit more than I could for this game jam, especially because the GMC Jam was only a 72 hours jam, which I have already lost 18 hours when I started or something like that, and I did not have a lot of time on the weekend to do it. But the idea of the AI system was, okay, I have the same planets with same order, and I have to figure out, let's say I have troops on planet 5 or 4 or 1 or 2, and can the enemy move the troops, and where will the enemy move their troops? No. So what I built a relationship table also. And this table, it has a little bit of fields. So let's say you know which planet you are and the target planet you want to go. So let's say I'm on planet 1 and I want to go to 2. I would follow this first line of the table. And let's say the planet 1 wants to go either to 2 or to 4. No? So how will the AI decide where it wants to go? So basically, I took into account the initial quantity of the planet that is going out, the target value of the planet it's going to. So let's say if it's going to a fertile planet, it's going to be worth a lot more than going to a space rock, because fertile planets yield more troops or something like that. It's going to take into account the owner of the target planet. So if it's the enemy is moving to one of its own planets, it's okay. If it's going to attack a new planet, that has a more weight to it. So I know that it wants to attack more than actually be moving troops within the same planets. It's going to look into the quantity of troops that there is on the planet that it's attacking, and if there is less troop than whatever he has, it means okay, I can conquer this planet, so the enemy will want to conquer you whenever it has a chance, so it has a higher value. And I did that for a lot of different factors. So for each planet relationship between, let's say, 1 or 2, I took into account a lot of factors, and I gave them odd numbers. I also gave a random number between 0.8 and 2. Okay, so it was actually it was a pseudo-random number. It was either 0.8, 0.9, 1, 1.1, or 2. And what I did actually, I multiplied all these values. Okay, so I took the line of values and I multiplied everything. And I assigned that to the root. Let's say the root from 1 to 2 was 16, the root from 1 to 4 was 54. And I made the decision, okay, so whatever has the highest value means it's better. So that's how the AI system works, and that's how the AI system knows what move it should do next. It worked out fine, I guess. On Monday, that was the day that I had to submit the game for the GMC Jam 32, Monday morning. So I ended up doing 2 more planets, the Dunes and the Fire Pit. And I add some background music, and that was almost all I had time to. I added a little bit of a GUI. So I had some tutorial in the initial part of the game showing how to play. So you select the planet by clicking on it. If you have conquered the planet, it's going to have a green aura. If the enemy has a planet, it's going to have a red aura. To move your troops, you have to click on these little arrows up and down. Select how many troops you want to move, click on move, and click on the planet you want to move to. And if you don't want to move, you click on the pass turn button. So that's a basic GUI. I know I didn't want to make a interactive tutorial, but I did not have time to do it. Okay, and then I submit the game, and the results are out, and I'm in 5th place. So I'm quite happy with what I got. On Tuesday, I started receiving feedback from what I have submitted, and I believe that's the best part of the game jam. No, so you receive feedback, you improve on it, and you make a way better game. That's good, because when you're rushing through a game jam, you're actually missing things that are pretty obvious, as you'll see what I had to fix. So with this feedback, what I did my to-do list. I did it within Game Maker, and this is the final version of the to-do list for the game jams. So I just wrote down whatever people were asking for in the game, whatever I wanted to do, but I did not have time to do for the first jam because it was a very short jam. And since I had 4 days more, I could do it maybe for the Blackthornprod Jam. And I start doing it. So one of the things that I did was giving player feedback. So people complain, okay, I have some troops on the planets, and the planets have a maximum cap of troops, but I have no way to know it unless I look at the right pane, and that's kind of not giving the player feedback. You're making the player work to find out like things that they should be easy for them. So what I did really quickly. I had some color coding. So let's say on the Earth-like planet, if you have 8 troops, you're almost reaching the cap. It's going to be yellow. On the Space Rock, which has a cap of 7, if you have 7 or more, it's going to be red, telling you, okay, you screwed up. You have more troops than you should have, and you're going to be starting losing troops from now on. And if you're not close to the limit, it's not going to show you anything. Okay. I also worked a little bit more of player feedback. Like I said, I did not have an end screen, and that's something that people complain, and I know it because people reached the end of the game. They didn't know they reached the end of the game. So I had a quick, simple game screen telling, okay, you won, you have conquered all planets, and press space for next level, which is something that I was planning. On Wednesday, I actually started doing more feedback to the player. And for example, when the population increased between turns, I had this little particle effect showing, okay, something's happening in this planet. I also started showing the troops moving. I did not have time to do it before, so I added this little ship that goes between planets, showing, okay, you're moving a troop from this planet to that planet. And when I'm attacking an enemy planet, I also added this little dust effect. So all these effects, they don't actually make the gameplay better, but they actually help the player feel more immersed in the game. So that's things that are simple to do and usually overlooked when you're doing a game. So that's something that you should pay attention to, because that makes the game experience much better. On Thursday, I added a second map to the game, and I made it a little bit more difficult. So I put enemies on both sides when starting, and the player on the bottom side. And that's about all I could do. On Friday, I had to submit the game, because I had to submit it within Saturday morning, I believe. So I went online, I submitted my game for the Game Jam as it was. I was working only 1 to 2 hours a day on the game, so I did not have much time to fix anything else. I submitted, I tested it a little bit, and what I got right after submission was people which were playing saying, okay, I got an error, I'm getting a bug. And that was funny, because I tried reproducing this bug, I could not reproduce it for a long time, and then I kind of cheated on the game. I had some code to let me cheat, and I could reproduce the bug, and it took me a little bit of time, but I got the game bug free, at least to my knowledge, no? So I said, okay, I'm gonna fix this bug. I fixed this bug and I resubmitted it. And on Saturday morning when I woke up, I was ready to go out, and I looked, okay, there's some more time to the jam. So I decided, okay, why not add some art to it? So I built this little planets, how can I say, planets, like you're on a ship looking to a planet and you see this environment. So I added this to the game. I think it adds a little bit more feel to the game. So you have all the planets have different variations of color, with different variations of how the nature grows on it, and that kind of reflects how many troops you can have and how many troops are going to increase each turn on each planet. Also on Saturday, since I had a couple of hours left, I added a little bit more player feedback. So whenever I was attacking a planet, I would show like the same dust effect I had before. But when you're attacking a planet that has a defense, I'm going to show you a little rocket going to the troops that are coming to kind of mess with it, and add a little dust effect on that. And I added some screen shake, as you can see, so that looks a lot better now. And I added some sound effects to the game. And that's all I could get. So I did my submission to the Blackthornprod GAME JAM. I'm waiting for the final results. I have lots of good reviews, and I'm going to show you a little bit of how the game plays itself right now. Okay, so the game, we have this little entry screen, and then we go to the actual game. So in the game we have this little card tutorial, like I said, which teaches you how to play the game. It's not the best way to do it, but it's the way I got a hold of doing it with the time I had for the jam. And whenever you click a planet, it opens up this little info tab here, which tells you what is the planet type, maximum inhabitants, population increase per turn, defense, who is the owner, so this is empty of intelligent life, this is the player, and this is the enemy, what number of player inhabitants it has, what's the number of enemy inhabitants it has, okay? And you can do this for all the planets. So I'm gonna start passing the turn. I know I should have started with 2 troops, but I cannot move. So maybe for the next game version I do it, okay? So now I have 2 troops, I can actually move, so I just click here and then just move them there. You see the troops moving, you'll see all these little effects of life growing on the planet. So this one yields 0.25 lives per turn. And that's how you play the game. Okay, the AI is quite smart, it's gonna try to beat you. And if you are not careful, it's gonna beat you. It takes the AI a little bit of time to do it, so if you actually know how to play it, you can beat them easily. I still have to fix up a little bit more the AI to make sure that it does not screw up every turn. So like here, it made a really good move, so it kind of got this planet before me. I was just going to get it, but it's not always the case, no? So, but it's good. And you see when I attacked, you're gonna see that some sound effects going on, and you can see the troops moving, and then it attacked me back, so it's kind of retaliating. And I think it turned out good, so I'm going to play a little bit to show you guys how it's done. You have to fill this empire meter. You see that they actually have more planets than me right now, and I believe we can turn this around pretty quickly. Let's hope. No. So see here, I have like 7 troops, that's the maximum, and it's warning me. And you see, if I try to move, this is kind of a bug, but if I try to move more troops here, it's going to also give me this warning sign, so people know, don't move more troops than you want, or more troops than the planet can handle, no? Even though I sometimes do it, I've seen people playing online and I see they do it also, so it's good, but I probably should have make more of a fail-safe for people not to do it, no? And you see, like here, he's moving 5 troops here, so it's kind of I don't know if it's a good move or a bad move. Let's see how it turns out. I may kind of screw him up here, so he's not going to actually keep moving this, okay? And let's see if I can do this. And okay, that's not his anymore. And you see he's trying to attack me through here. So the enemy player would like to come here, you see? He's trying to get here, and once he achieves this planet, it yields 1.5 troops per turn, so that's kind of hard to beat afterwards. And he's going to get it before me, so I will not worry about it right now. See? He got it. So he's not that dumb. And let me just play it a little bit more to show you guys, and I believe that's it. So if you like this game, thanks for watching. And if you like it, please follow my channel, subscribe to my channel. I publish different tutorial videos of how to make games like this. I publish videos on playing some games, game jams. And if you have any comments, anything you would like to know more, or anything that you didn't like about this game that you think I could do better, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer all the comments I have. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.